guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is Sonali from It Starts at Home, and today I'm sharing with you the small things that we do to save money and buy stuff for Vivan. And when I say buy stuff for Vivan, it doesn't only mean games and books, but something that's going to help him in future. So I'm going to tell you these little tips and tricks that my husband is he always suggests all these things, and I always try and contribute in the best way possible. Okay, the first thing that we do is, a little background about us. I have a 7-year-old boy, that's Vivan. My husband works in a company called Reckitt Benckiser, the makers of Lysol and Dettol. He is an R&D scientist there. He's a pharmacist. My background is marketing. I was a brand manager before I started homeschooling Vivan and started doing all these things. Because of our travel to different countries, I chose to stay at home. But at the same time, I try and do different stuff to contribute to the house. Okay, so now when it comes to money, we both belong to pretty good, decent families, working class family, and we have been building quite a good life for ourselves. We make sure that we are not doing over to show Vivan that everything comes easily. And at the same time, I think we're comfortable in our own zone. We have a very minimalistic approach when it comes to things. Because of our travel, we make sure that we're not overcrowding the house with things. The one thing that we definitely invest with Vivan is the books. He is a reader. He is an avid reader. We try and buy books for him. One thing that for years that we have been not buying are the toys. I think we have been very lucky with the friends and the families that are around us, that they have been always giving us toys and games. And then in the birthday parties and all the other places, we keep getting a lot of good toys. So toys are one thing that I don't spend a lot of money. We do spend money on books, but now even for books, we have a good library. So I try and use as much as possible the library. We try and pick up all the books. But how do we save to get all that? Okay. So everybody, if you have one person earning, two people earning, you know what's the salary, you know your expenditure of the month, okay? So how do you cut and where do you work on to get on things that you really want to do for yourself, for your house, or for your kid? So our agenda is to have sufficient amount of money by the time Vivan goes to college, and he doesn't need to pick up a loan, or we don't have to pick up a loan for him, and we should have sufficient amount of savings. So we do save, but I'm going to tell you how. So we have this plan which is called a per day expense basis, which is called a daily wage. So my husband is very good with his numbers, and he makes sure that we all follow. Sometimes we do follow, sometimes we slip, but that's all right. That's what happens. So we have a cutoff for a daily basis. I mean, as a minimum thing. So I would say if you just say $60 for a day, I'm just giving you a number. That's not exactly what I do or what I'm telling you. But if your expenditure is whatever it is, you have to minimize it and keep it as low as possible for a day. You do increase it for the weekends because that's when you're going out or somebody's coming home, you have to pick up some stuff. But during the weekdays is the time when you cut. So when I say cut, as in if your budget was 60, you try and spend 55 on a daily basis, and the $5 that you're saving on a day-to-day, you add up and keep it for the rest. Then the second thing we do is, for a week, we have a budget to have our food outside. So we try and follow that budget for sure. The third thing that we do is we, for shopping, for me and my husband, because we believe to be minimalistic, we don't tend to buy a lot of clothes for ourselves. We do like to do things like experiences. So we try and put all our money or the amount of money that we're saving in experiences, so that's something that you get out. Clothes are something for us that... and it has happened over the years. I mean, I was really a shopaholic, but over the years, I have realized that what is it important for me? It's not about just saving money, but it's just like I don't get that happiness with the clothes. I mean, it's too materialistic for me just to have the clothes or the bags or all these things. I'm happy with what I have. It's not that I don't have clothes or I don't like wearing fancy stuff. I do have all that, but all that in a very minimal manner. We only shop. I think the last time when I went for shopping was my brother's wedding, which was last year in January, and I haven't shopped for a year now. I picked up 2 pairs of jeans, I think in June. That was last June. Yes, last June when I went to India with my mom for a trip. I did that. And here are a couple of things, but for all that there's a budget for clothes. Like this is the budget, and that's how you have to work on. Then so you have your daily budget, you have your food budget, Then you have your miscellaneous, because you do have a birthday, you do have other things, you like do slip up, so you have a miscellaneous thing. But the foremost important thing is, out of both the salaries that you have, how much do you want to save? Okay, that's the first amount that you take it out. And to take that out, either you put it in the FD, you buy it into the shares, you put it in your 401k, you put it in your PPF, you put it in in any other kind of savings, or you try and just transfer it to a different account. So as soon as you get your salary, you try and remove your whatever money you think that that's your agenda that you want to save, you remove that money, and the rest you try and cut down by 10% everything. So for us, coffee and tea, we both are not coffee and tea drinkers. There's no smoking, there's no drinking in the house, so that's like automatically a cut down in all four places. We do have a big sweet tooth, so that's like a big thing for us, because every time we go to a supermarket, or we're like going out anywhere, we do get into a bakery, we pick up like a cream puff or something to eat. That's one thing. But we make sure that all that, which is, if the daily was 60, if I'm already at 55, I will try and not take it. So that's where you have to stop yourself, so that you don't make those extra mistakes, and that's how you save all that money. And the money that you're saving, now it depends on how do you want to invest. Do you want to invest it in your house? Are you building it towards your house? Are you building it towards your kids' education? Are you buying an insurance plan for them? Are you buying shares for them for future? Or are you putting all that money in an FD or PPF? So you have to make sure that what are your baskets of saving, and then how much do you want to save in each basket. Also, one more thing that I've done is, every time Vivan gets some kind of money, I don't spend that immediately. I try and put that away, and we try and use the same money and get him something later. So like last time he got some money from his grandparents, we made sure that we use the money, he uses the money wisely, and he bought his bicycle with that. It's not that I can't afford like a $200, I can, but it's not something that I should do. If he has the money, it should not be taken for granted. He needs to use his money very wisely. So like now for his birthday, he got some cash. That cash has been kept separately. He got the gift cards, they have been kept separately. He needs to figure it out. He has a bank account back in India where we on and off keep adding money to his account. Somebody here suggested me to have Vivan's bank account, and I think it's totally doable, and that's what I'm planning to do, so that where he can go take his money and fill in a slip and he can deposit it. So at the same time, every time he gets even $10, $15, like $20, he can go and put it in the bank right away. So all these small steps that you're taking towards it is building a better future and saving more amount of money. But always remember, you need to have that in clear. How much money as a family do you want to save in a month? And then you break it down week by week. Or if you don't want to do like on daily basis, you should do it on a week basis. Like in 1 week, you should be spending like 35,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, or like $700 or like $400 or like $300. It totally depends on your salary, on the income and the expenditure that you have. But see, what can you avoid? Can you avoid having a meal middle of the week outside? Can you avoid having that extra cup of coffee? Can you avoid that cup of tea with your friends outside? Can you avoid that? Can you avoid that ice cream? As parents, you have to make those choices for your kids. Nobody's telling you to not live your life. You are living your life, you are doing all that things, but all these small changes, and with that cash you can have like a big bag. Like I have a bag where I try and save. So I think last year, just by these minor things, I saved almost $1,000 just within the house, like because $5 were left here, $10 were left there, something like that. And by the end of the year, I figured out there were $1,000 just out of nothing, which I had no clue that I'd be like putting into that bag every time we were going somewhere. All the change and everything was there. So that's something that I learned from my mom, that every bag needs to have certain amount of money. So I make sure I have like $200 or $300 in every bag that I have. And there's a pouch that I think all the ladies do have in the house, where you have your secret money, and that secret money comes from all those savings and all that money that you get from people who are visiting you. So you try and put that, and then you use it towards something meaningful for you, for your family, for a trip. If you're saving for a trip, you have to see if the trip is very important for you, what are the things that you can let go, like totally. Can you like let go of the parties? Can you say no to parties? So even if you're going to somebody's house, you should have a budget in your head that I need to take a gift, yes. For how many dollars or for how many rupees? Okay, if you have to look in your currency and see, okay, this is what I have to do. I cannot be spending more money than this. Who, if the person extremely close to you, it's totally different. But if you can do it, think for yourself one time. Not saying to be extremely rude, not saying to be extremely miser, but all these small steps, okay, doing back and forth. And you can't do it all the time. Like, I have never been able to do it all the time, but sometimes, all those few times when you try and do it, they help you in saving that little bit that will actually help you later on. And with all that money that you're saving, it might be a smaller amount right now, but trust me, after a couple of months when you're doing, and every time you say that your budget was $20 to buy a gift and you ended up buying like a $15 gift, you're saving that $5. Please write that, because that $5 by the end of the year is going to be like a bigger amount. That 1 cup of coffee, if you're having like 4 or 5 cups of coffee in a week, if you can get it to 4, I'm not telling you to stop totally, but I'm just telling you to reduce number of things so that you can try and do it. I hope all these tips and tricks that we follow, they have helped you. If they have, do leave a comment. If you do something very different, do let me know. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe. I am sure all these suggestions, all these things have not overwhelmed you. If you really want me to share more stuff like this, what we do as a family to do different things, how do we plan our holidays, how do we save for them, just let me know. I can do some more videos around it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.